Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Spittin' Seeds. This is episode 10. I've tentatively titled it Stoner Ingenuity and DIY Tips. Let me see here. I need to get myself set up. So I'm going to, where's my chat? There's my chat. We can get the link in chat. What's up, Brian? 4:20 p.m., 8 p.m. Good to see people showing up. Yeah, just bear with me here for a second. I'm gonna get the link in chat and get my chat popped out and can get this show on the road. There's the link. Let me pin it. Anybody that wants to hang out or share any tips or tricks, DIY stuff, feel free to click that link and hop on. Make sure you're in live chat, and let me get my live chat here popped up. There we go. All right. Got all my tech shit popped up and set up for me here. Cheers to the chat. I see Donkey Populous, 8 p.m., Brian, 4:20 p.m., Haas Farms, Rolling Smoke. Oh, looks like Jace is trying to get in here. Let him in, I think. As long as he doesn't do any weird shit. Hey, what's up, Jace? How's it going, man?
Hey, pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I was about to light up here, and yeah, I had a bit of a traumatic experience this afternoon at the dentist's office, but other than that, I'm good.
Oh shit, they started drilling on you before you went numb?
No, I didn't get anything drilled. It was like a cleaning, and they had to numb the whole right side of my face to do it, and then they went in with like an ultrasonic water pick and like cleaned out 10 years worth of not going to the dentist. It was pretty nasty, but I was in there for an hour and a half in that fucking chair. Next Wednesday, I
Ooh.
got to go back and do the other half of my face.
Oh damn. Yeah, man, I had a similar experience. I went in and it's been a while since I've had my teeth cleaned professionally. It's sad to admit, but anyway, I went in and yeah, I don't know what they used. It was something like what you were talking about, but man, I think I got sensitive teeth or something. That shit was hurting, man. It was hurting my teeth. And
hmm
I had to tell them to stop at one point. I was like, I don't know what the hell you guys are using, or my teeth's sensitive or something, because that freaking hurts.
Yeah, I had to tell the lady too, and then she went back and put more of the. She injected more of the numbing shit into my face.
Hmm.
I was like, that hurts. She's like, okay, well, let me get the needle back out. I was like, fuck, that hurts worse.
That's one thing I despise most is dentists. I don't know why, but just I don't know. I think everybody probably.
Well, I told her after she was done with the injections, I was like, listen, lady, I've been through legit torture training. I've been waterboarded and tased and shit and bear maced and all kinds of stuff. And I would rather have that than you putting that fucking needle into my mouth again. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, like, no offense, but that was not pleasant.
Oh yeah, I get it totally. I don't know. That's just one area of your body that you don't want them poking around and shit on. I
hmm
don't know. It's bad mucus.
I saw something that said humans have the potential to grow a third set of teeth, and scientists are working on activating the gene that does that. And I was like, that's fucking crazy.
Damn, what would you do? Where would it be at? Like, what would you do? Is it like a row
You would
behind a
it
row
would
or what?
it would be like growing them in your face, I guess, and then they would come out. I don't know.
Guess you could eat more medibles that way.
No, it would be for like people that lost all their teeth or something like that, like gingivitis or some shit. And then
Oh,
they
like
could like
regrowing teeth.
regrow your full set of teeth for a third set of teeth is like potentially possible in the human DNA.
Oh, I got you now. I wasn't following you at first. Yeah, that's
No,
wild.
yeah, I got double rows of teeth, man.
Like a
It
like a
only takes
possum or
one
something.
bite to chew a slice of pizza.
Everything's a one
Shit.
bite challenge at that point.
That's right. Hey, we got a bunch of people hanging out. I see Vark Dog Farms, Pizza Pirate, Tao's in the chat, Thunder Dan. What's up, everybody? Feel free to click that link and hop on with us if you want. Um, I have a tentative topic of just like while we're hanging out and smoking down and stuff, I'm gonna throw out random things that pop into my head about like cheap DIY fixes and things you can do in your garden. Just any kind of like general tips and tricks and things like that. And then if we get into another topic, that's totally cool. Um, but yeah, if that's cool with you, Jace, or if you have something that you want to talk about, we can definitely get into that too.
Yeah, right on. I'll just roll with it as we go. I mean, honestly, like right now, I don't have, I mean, I don't know, like hardcore DIY, I don't really have per se, but I mean, there's other stuff in here I've had to craft or put together myself, like the fertigation system or something. I mean, it's just mainly just like cutting lines and shit and putting emitters on, but it's not total. I don't know what like DIY you're trying to get into specifically.
Oh, just anything like putting together, not getting a full like pre-made system or something like any kind of like DIY shit that you've done. I've seen some people like for example, somebody was using I think it was the American one, he was using a fork that he bent the tines over and used it to rake the top layer of medium in his pots before he watered to break the hydrophobic layer there that stop the water from running down the sides of the pot. Or I've seen people use like coat hangers in the corners of their tents to prop them out so that it doesn't get that vacuum suction in on the walls and push the plants together and stuff like that. Just little things like that that have stuck with me throughout my growing experience and um yeah, things like that. I don't know.
Yeah, right on. Well, one thing I did, I think I showed y'all last time, is I put that trellis net on the top of my tent, and that gives me mounting points for my yo-yos. That was just a cheap way, for me to have a better setup inside,
That's a good
to
idea, yeah.
strap the yo-yos up there. And I mean, yeah, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like that CFM you were talking, I don't know. I'm getting lazy in my days. I just bought a CFM kit. I mean, it wasn't too much. It was like 40 bucks, but yeah, there's definitely cheaper ways, if you're really trying to save your dollar.
Yeah, and it's nice to have a setup like you have where it's all one system and all works together pretty much, seamlessly and everything. So that's definitely there's draws to that, but my roots are with like cheap DIY shit. So that's where I went to first. But we can definitely talk about your system if you want to run through the process of what it is or anything like that. Like, because that's a DIY sort of thing. You get all the different parts, but you have to put it together and set it up and everything. And
Yeah,
most of your stuff is like AC Infinity, right?
yeah. Most of my climate control, um, like the controllers and everything, humidifiers, fans. My lights are Mars Hydro, but my extractor fans, those are AC Infinity. Well, my fertigation system, that's all DIY. I mean, full disclosure, like I got all this from XYZ, like the plans and the designs and everything. So everything came from him, but I did have to assemble it myself. I could walk you through that if you want.
Sure. If you want, or you want to give us a garden tour. Oh, it looks like Tao's trying to jump in here. Yeah, you want to
Ooh,
give us a garden tour and show off your plants to the American one?
yeah, right on.
And maybe we can stop at certain points and just you can just point out stuff that's like, hey, this is kind of unique or whatever. What's up, Tao?
Um,
Welcome to the show, man.
hey,
Jake's gonna
Tal, what's
show his
up?
garden if that's cool with
Hey,
you.
what's up? All right, yeah, let's check out OKJ's.
If you
Um,
got a minute to hang out,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
awesome.
I got a lot of DIY shit I've been doing right now. I can show
Uh,
you guys, so
hell
that's why I
yeah,
figured
man.
I'd come up. So, but yeah, let's check its going.
okay, so fertigation system, I've got a chiller, and then it goes into my res. So I bought this on Facebook Marketplace. It was like 35 bucks. It's a 35 gallon. Let me see if I can get this off with one hand. And then I've got the two air lines coming in. So I actually just bought this. This is a air pump from AC Infinity, and it has two lines going in with two air stones. And
See, even
then,
something like drilling holes in the sides at the top and then putting a piece of metal bar or something above it to hang your shit from, that's a good DIY tip right there. Like I might use that in a different way, but that's the
yeah,
idea of that, cutting holes and
yeah,
shit and hanging it yourself and all that.
yeah, and that's exactly what I did. Just so I cut a hole there so I can obviously get all my stuff in through it. And then I made this PVC. I put a T on it, and then I cut a hole right here. So these are my two water lines that go to my pump. There's a supply and a return, and then I run it inside that. If I get in here, I drop my phone in there. Get
Yeah,
you
don't do
upside down.
that. I see that it's going into that pipe there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's right there. So what that does is it holds it steady at the bottom of the res down there, so the lines don't come up out of the water.
That's a smart idea too. See, I
And
wouldn't have
then
thought of that either. Just throw that hose in there.
yeah, and it's free. It slides around freely on that, so I can just pull it out. And then I have a return line from the res that just goes in the bottom of the res there. I used to have it mounted up here, and then I would do like a waterfall effect where it would just like drip back down into the oh, I'm upside down here.
Uh-oh, you messed your phone up.
I did. But yeah, so there's a recirculating pump in there that pumps into the chiller and then back out. So I've got it set at 60. That's my dog. Man, this
Uh-oh.
thing's
I
all
think you
jacked.
got to
This
turn
thing.
your video off and turn it back on because it thinks it's upside down.
Okay,
Yeah,
hang on.
you messed the accelerometer up. You're
It's
good.
driving me crazy. Hang on a second.
There you go.
There we go.
Oh, here,
Okay, so
sorry. Let me
yeah,
spotlight you. I forgot about that. I'm in charge of this. I forgot. There we go.
yeah, I got my chiller set. It kicks on. I think I've got it set for 66. I put it a couple of degrees lower than what I want going into my media because I figure by the time it gets there, it's probably warmed up a couple of degrees. So I try to keep it around 68. And so I've got the pump, which is I ain't got much lighting down here. So I've got the pump down here. That's that orange looking thing.
Mhm.
Um, and it's all programmed in through a controller that XYZ designed, XYZ vector. So it's on a timer system, and it's pretty awesome. I mean, I don't want to get to me. I don't know where he's at as far as like releasing all this information because he's trying to go to market with some of this
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
So I don't
yeah.
want. And then the white box behind it there, that's my condensate pump. So that's why I have all these tents elevated because I can set my drain up to go into there, and then it just pumps it out the front of my house there into the
Nice.
bushes out front. Which I just redid that today. So I had this bucket here. That's what that bucket is. That was catching my runoff because it was too cold outside, and my the water was freezing up, so I couldn't pump it out.
I
So
remember
yeah, I
that.
just goes through the pumps, and then I've got so it comes in here, and then I've got these push to fit connectors right here, and then this is a flow rate, so that does 2 gallons per hour. And you can change these out for different sizes, so that regulates your water pressure going to each emitter. And this one I actually capped off because I had 3 plants in here, um, but I didn't need it anymore, so I just put a cap on it so it doesn't water out of it because I don't need it
Hmm.
obviously. And then I use these Netafim net bows. These things are really good, and they're cheap too. They're less than $3 a piece. But the old emitters, I had those hydro halos, like you had to have them really level, whereas these you don't. I mean, they could pretty much run at any angle and they'll still drip out evenly.
Nice. Can we go back to that pump underneath? I saw you had it in a Tupperware or some sort of thing. Was that just to catch any leaks or anything like that? Keep it off
Yeah,
the
that's my
floor?
That's my fail safe. That way, if something goes south, it can at least mitigate some of the damage. I think
Yeah.
that holds. I forgot how many gallons that holds. I have to get down there and look, but it'll at least catch a fair portion of it. That way, not all of it's running out on my floor if shit does go bad on it. It just starts
That's
leaking
a
out
smart
everywhere.
idea. Yep, that's a smart idea. I
And
like
I
it.
kind of got it underneath my drain. It's like tucked underneath my tent, so the drain that goes below my tent, if it leaks too for whatever reason, which it shouldn't, they'll in theory catch that too.
Donkey Populous in the chat was asking what is your tent sitting on? Is
So
that's
I,
something that you made, right?
Yeah, so I built these. I've got one here and I've got one over here too. So both of these used to be all one unit. I used to have a 5x5 in here, so it all sat on top of that. And then I downgraded to these, or downsized to these 2x4s, and I basically just cut it in half. I had to rework it a little bit, but that just gives me extra storage down here,
I like it.
which works out great too because the floor is cool and it's dark down here, so I can store all my flour and shit in there.
Hmm. That's awesome. That's a great site right there. Just a drawer full of jars. I'm
It is too.
gonna come hang out with you and come visit you.
Hey man, I got I've got some smoke for a couple of days at least.
Yeah, we'll see. You and me get down on that, and it'll be gone in a week.
And then I've got
Awesome.
these soil sensors too. I've got one in that pot, and then I've got one I just have two. I've got one in each tent. Can't really see this one, but I had two. There it is back
Yeah, I
there.
see it. Hmm.
But this one I had to Dremel this air pod out because it's hard plastic and you have to go in through it because it has like three prongs that stick in to read the
Mm.
EC and the temperature.
And
And then yeah,
that's
so
just a good because you gotta manage that sort of thing. So like earlier we were talking about drilling holes into that bucket, drilling holes into stuff. Don't be afraid to modify your shit. If you buy a pot and it's not working out for you, if it needs more holes, get a drill, and do that or whatever. Whatever you got to do.
yeah,
Don't be afraid to
th
change stuff.
this one hurt my feelings a little bit more because these are the authentic air pods, so they're a little more
Mm.
expensive than those Chinese ones I had that were 1 gallons. And then so yeah, that's just I can't
Well, if you need to fix it, just slap some Bond on there or something. You'll be fine.
duct tape. So
Duct
yeah,
tape
just
it.
this is my second tent, and then the line just comes in and it continues here. So this tent, oh, it has this is a check valve. So that's the nice thing about XYZ system. It purges the water out once you're done, so no water stays in those lines in between fertigation events.
That's cool. That's good. Yeah, you don't want anything growing in there, or even just like heating up.
Yeah, because it will, like it'll be whatever the temperature, maybe even hotter than what it is inside your tent.
Hmm. Especially with the black plastic tubes.
And then yeah, I just put these drain trays in here. This is just a regular 2x4 drain tray. And then I have to put like plywood underneath it to angle it so it drains. So you have to angle it to the drain back there in the corner. Otherwise, you'll get puddles up here. And that's kind of what I had over here. I need to redo this one. That's why it's kind of standing in here. But that was my first run on this one. So I'll have to rework that one once I get this tent empty again.
That's a cheap DIY tip. If you need something to drain, put it at an angle. Just shove something underneath it.
Well, I did that up here. So this tray, this is my clone tent. This is actually the bottom of it. This is a dog kennel floor replacement.
There you go.
And I just drilled a hole in the corner there and put a bulkhead fitting on it. I need to rework this drain a little bit because I still get a little bit of water that pulls up there. So might be back to the drawing board on that one. I mean, that's not
Does
terrible. I
that
would like
hole
to,
go through the bottom of the tent there?
yeah, yeah, and that actually goes to my condensate pump that's down there.
Okay.
That's what this line is right here coming down, and it goes into my condensate. So all the tents are set up to my condensate pump, so it just automatically drains it out. So it's really nice not having to manually cart that uh, wastewater and or runoff and dump it out.
Nice.
And then this is Goth Girl. She's got some hairs on her.
Hmm. It looks cool.
And then the Queen of the South there, she's starting to turn purple. She's getting some chunky buds on her too. I'm liking the way this one's growing up on it. I like the way it's growing. It's really nice so far. This is the AC Infinity CO2 slash light sensor. And then I just put this is a Govee. It's a Bluetooth hygrometer. So I bought like a 3 pack of those so I can have like multiple reference points.
Nice. They say what, two is one and one is none. So always have redundancy in your grow system.
And then I like to run that's a 6 inch AC Infinity fan. I like to have air going in all zones. And then I've got one above here. That's the 9 inch AC Infinity. That puts out really good air up there. And it's not like really concentrated in one point like that 6 inch is. So it's more like a massive like volume of air going around. You know what I mean? Like
You
it's not
take
real
those covers
intense.
off the front?
No,
No.
man.
Can't
I left
modify
the
those.
light
They're
on.
too nice.
I left the light on too. And then
Wait, you left the light on what? On the fan?
no, I was just kidding.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say those have lights on them. That's not a good design.
And then I've got this is Peyote Forum on the right. This tent's getting packed. This I had to bend these all over, so I've got like a gap in there, and it's like everything's twisted because I had to tie it off to get it out for my light. I
Mhm.
ran out of room up top. I mean, I could probably raise it a little bit more, but not much. And then I've got Gelato Biscotti here in the middle. This one's looking pretty good too. These are starting to pack on some weight, but mainly this Gelato 41. That's what this one is. It's getting some nice buds on it already. They're about golf
Oh,
ball sized already.
it looks exactly like the one that I grew out of that pack.
I'll tell you what though, man, there's not many trichomes at all on this thing. Like there's barely any. Like if you can see, it's like barely at the base.
Mm.
And then
Well,
if you
maybe
go over here to,
it'll frost up at the end, hopefully.
yeah, this one's got it all the way on that sugar leaf.
The one that I had got real dark and was really dense, rounded top buds like those, and
Yeah.
golf ball sized, and it was very frosty. So hopefully yours frosts up on you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that strain. What else was I going to say? Well, that's pretty much it for the watering system. And then well, this is an extra humidifier,
Dude,
but
I
I've
have
got
that
these.
same humidifier as the one on the right. That's the one that I
This one.
have. Yeah, I got it on
So,
Amazon.
so here's
Exactly the
fun.
same one. That's awesome.
The funny thing is, I used this on my very first grow. I bought that. I had a 4x8 in here. I grew GG4. I monocropped. I had 6 plants of GG4 and a 4x8. And I didn't know it. So that both that fan or that humidifier and I had a tower fan, they both had all these kind of lights on them. And
Hmm.
that was my first grow. And I mean, I knew that you weren't supposed to have lights, lights out, you get light pollution, but I didn't know. I had no idea like how sensitive and shit plants were to it. And I did. I got a bunch of seeds out of that one. I mean,
Mm.
they never showed any outward signs of herming, but yeah, so I don't put that one in my tent anymore because those lights stay on all the time. I mean, the power's off now, but when you turn it on, it's got a ton of lights that come on, and like
Yeah.
the reservoir on the side has a light on it too, like an indicator light. So like that's like a freaking disco light in your grow area, and you don't want that.
Yeah, and I had mine when I was using it. I would only put it in there, like I would manually take it and put it in the tent for, as long as the tent I was down there, and then I would take it out again because of that. But mainly just use it around the house. But that's funny that it's the same exact one.
And then this is the AC Infinity. I think it's the T3. It's the smallest one they make. I've got two of these, so I got one for each tent. I might get a third one for the clone tent. I don't know. But I like these because you can pipe them in. That's what this hose is. And I've got it
Mm.
coming up here. That's what this hose is coming up. And then see it just comes in behind it. And like you can see it, the fan's just sucking it in, blowing it around so you get real even distribution. But the
You
nice
know
thing is
what? Somebody needs to tell them make it so you can hook that hose up to the fan, like plug it into the
like a
fan, and it'll come out the fan blades or something. That'd
yeah,
be
like a little
dope.
port that you can just
Yeah.
push it onto.
Yep. Like all your fans are also humidifiers.
Well, the nice thing is like two things. Like one, you can set it outside your tent so it doesn't take up space inside your tent. And then two, it's easier to refill since it's outside. You just come here and flip that door open on top, and then you can fill it up real easy right there when you're done.
Nice.
And then I've got that's the new AI controller, and then that's the 69 Pro Plus. These are pretty much the same minus the AI. So these both have 8 ports on, and then this one has an external. That's what this little thing is up here. That's a temperature and humidity probe, so you can get the ambient temperature for your lung room.
That's cool.
And then I got the original 69. That's not even the Pro version. This is their very first controller 69. It's Bluetooth only, and it only has 4 ports. But that's my clone 10 up here. And then I run this is a Raxial fan. This is my active air intake for my Gorilla tent. I'm gonna get. I'll probably end up getting like a 4-inch exhaust fan because then I could plug it into the system. So what I was doing was the humidity in my lung room was much lower than the humidity in my grow tent. So I was using the air from the lung room to decrease the humidity in my tent because I'm trying to run CO2 in here. So I don't want an exhaust, or as little as possible. So that was working out really good.
Nice. We'll shout out Jamie Ream and Agnes Beckett in the chat. You are both moderators now. Sorry, I was sleeping on the chat. I saw you posted earlier, but I didn't think to give you a wrench. Well, thanks for the
But
very
that's
thorough rundown, Jace. Yeah.
yeah. I wish I had more DIY. I used to be a lot more DIY, but I kind of been getting away from it. Just um, I don't know, just trying to buy everything you need to get good groove and make it easier on yourself.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta, it's always the trade-off of like your time and energy versus the cost of buying it without having to do anything and all that. So, I want to say welcome to Ice and I. Welcome to the show, man.
Yeah. Cheers, everyone. Glad to be here. The fucking time zone caught me out again. Plus,
Mm,
I didn't. I was just sitting there with having a chat with Agnes, and he asked me what day it was, and I was like, "Oh, it's Wednesday." And then I was just like, "Oh, shit." Then I looked at the time, and it's like, "Oh, it's 11." Then I thought, "Oh, that's all right. Still got another hour yet."
mm,
Then I thought, "Oh no, actually." Yeah. So I just sent Agnes a link. He didn't know about your show either. So.
awesome. Well, welcome to the show, Agnes.
What's
What's
up,
up?
IC?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Cheers,
Talon
pal.
muted. Hey, hold up. Let me get myself spotlighted for you. Oh, you're good. Never mind.
I'll go up and show you the little veg tent when I've got a second. I'm just making a cuppa. I'll just put it on me
Oh
when I
yeah,
do
no
pop
worries.
Mac. Noise.
Tal's gonna
I just
show
had to
us.
power. Uh, I
What's
just
that?
had to power down
So
everything because there is enforcement outside.
Oh man. Yeah, no, that's no good.
yeah, so when we talk about DIY, this is really cheesy, but you could put shower curtains up in the closet so that if you spray and stuff, it won't go. But on the floor, from the walls, I leave a little extra, and then when I put the floor in, I'll put it behind it so it's like a shingle. I'm gonna get something thicker for the floor, I think, though, and then yeah, I won't have to worry about water.
Here's a good floor tip. Go to like a U-Haul store and get the floor for the carpet protection. It's like saran wrap, but it's sticky on one side and it'll just stick right down to the floor or the carpet or whatever you're growing on and create a nice barrier. They use it for protecting carpets when you're walking boxes and furniture in and out of houses.
Oh, I got you. Okay, I'll check that out.
Yeah. I think that's a little bit tacky though. It's a bit like a saran wrap. I'll just go for a cheap bit of linoleum or something like that.
The one that I
It's a
used when
bit.
I moved was like a thicker. It was like a 8 or 10 millimeter or 10 whatever yeah, the thickness stuff that you get on
Ollie.
trash bags. It was like a really thick contractor trash bag thickness material, the black ones or whatever. But yeah, anyways, continue, Tal, please.
All right, well, all these fat leaf plants are Godiva's. This little one here is it's a Bruce Banner by Cheesecake that took forever. There was in one of them cups. These ones back here are, I don't know if I'm going to keep them or not. They're still in cups, but they should have got upplanted a long ass time ago. Even the ones that I did upplant is still hurting. They need to be in a bigger container already. But anyway,
Mm,
that was one of my DIYs. And then if you, I got these, what do they call them? Bell, bell cloche. I
Bell
got at the
cloche.
dollar store.
Huh.
So if you want to make clones, you could. I put two of them in there, whatever.
That thing's great. Yeah, I'm gonna go look for one of those.
And then of course I got the regular clone stuff. But yeah, those are my simple DIYs. The other one is usually I use carabiners. I got it here, yeah,
Sorry,
so
you were
you can,
breaking up there. You got what? Oh, carabiners. Yeah,
yeah, so that when you're putting up lights or whatever, you can easily take them off without like it being a big pain in the ass.
I like that.
And yeah, here's I flipped over to 12 and 12. I was going to flip it back so they would sex, but I think I'm just going to leave it on 12 and 12. But yeah, even these are still hurting a little bit. And I hit them with sulfur the other day. I ordered beneficial bugs though; they're coming.
Nice.
But
Yeah, you knocking the spider mites down, right? That was what it was.
yeah, yeah.
That's no
I
fun,
so I
man.
took a bunch of leaves off. There's three in one container back there. That I took a bunch of leaves off that I saw spider mite damage, but I didn't look. I just got rid of them. But yeah. So that's where I'm at right now. And these two are probably going to come out. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet, but yeah, that's where I'm at.
Nice.
Like,
Looks good,
some
man.
sulfur residue right there.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah,
Better than little tiny bite holes all over it, man.
yeah, yeah, exactly. but yeah, that's pretty much all I got to show right now. So
Thank you for giving us a run through of what you got going on. I just
Yeah,
sent
looking good.
some of your Violet Beauregard seeds to Vark Dog, who's just popped them. So that'll be fun to see because he said he was going to come on in the second half.
that would be great
Possibly.
because
No pressure, Vark Dog. I don't want you to
I
feel like you have to.
I love that strain too, man. And yeah, the Godiva, I forgot how short, squat, fat leaf they are. I'm really excited to check out what, because I had like two different kinds when I ran that Godiva. One, they both were good, but I like this. Like, I'll bring up the IG post I have of it. It was like more of a rounder top cola, you know. The other one was spear looking, but it was all good weed to smoke. But yeah,
It's so interesting the different shapes that the buds can take, you know. You see them like they look like teardrops or golf
yeah,
balls or straight up like I saw one that looked like straight up fingers because it was just like calyxes stacked on top of each other, you know. That was pretty cool. Like it looked like you could just pluck it right off and wrap it in a paper and smoke it like that. It was like,
yeah.
yeah, cool shit, man. I learned a
Foxtails.
lot of sorry, go ahead, Ison.
Oh, I just said foxtails.
Yeah, but it was like really fat and just like straight up. It looked like
Fiddles.
you ever
Fiddles.
yeah, it looked like finger grapes. You ever had a finger grape? Like
No.
long skinny grapes? I don't know. That's what it made me think
Uh-huh.
of. Like I wanted to take a bite out of it and be all juicy. Anyway, sorry, getting off topic. I was gonna say I learned a lot of DIY and like cheap tricks and tips and stuff from the American one because I don't know if a lot of people don't know this, but Tao is one of the people that taught me how to grow, specifically all the panelists over on Cheap Home Grow Show. I remember sitting in the car. I was driving on a weekend outing to Illinois. Um, with my wife, and I was just starting to get into growing. We were going to go up there and hit the dispensary and go stay in this little cabin and get really stoned and hang out and have a campfire. And we listened to the Cheap Home Grow Show, like back episodes of it. The whole drive up there was like a 4 hour drive, and I was like, these guys are fucking awesome. And she agreed. And then now I'm hanging out with these people, and it's such a cool feeling to be such a welcoming community and like people that I really look up to and that like at one point were like, oh my God, I can't talk to them. They're like famous, YouTubers and shit, and they're like authorities in the cannabis field and stuff. Like, but now, no, these are my friends. So that being said, if there's anybody out there that's like on the fence, if you are feeling like you want to show your garden, but you're not sure, like we will welcome you with open arms for sure. But yeah, let's get over to Ice and I here. Spotlight you. Oh, he might be away from his phone. He's doing something.
So I just get this.
Oh, you're fine, man. I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that.
That's all right. I'll do a little bit of cleaning up whilst I'm showing you. Yeah, this is basically my veg tent. I potted some up like we all know. I still haven't I haven't really done anything with them. But yeah, it's getting a little bit cramped in here, and I think possibly I'll pull it out in a minute. Might have PM on one of these at the back here, or the start of. I've been up against the tent. Let me see. I can see some white spots on it. Do you know what? Now I've pulled it out. I can't even see them. But it could just be. You can see that on the tips. Just there. I could really notice it under the light in there. There you go. See a nice
Sorry, I
little
was muted.
patch.
Yeah. What are we looking at? The
I think it might be PM.
yep, I did see that little spot there, huh?
Give it a little bite. It could be just dried water. It could be just cows, like from
Yeah, just
water
minerals.
droplets.
Yeah.
Because I did have like where water was just sitting on the leaf, creating a magnifying glass I didn't bother sort of like because it's all cramped and just got wet.
Mm.
That caused that basically. Sort of like bleached it out. But yeah,
It's those leaves sitting on top of each other can create microclimates and stuff, like
yeah, I think
humidity spots
that's
and things.
basically what that is. Uh, Might be because it is on the tip, so I would imagine that is just where it was just holding a drop of water, maybe. I'm not sure, but these are all going to get a wash down, and I'll put these in the bathtub and give them a good old wash down anyway. But, yeah, I'm just gonna come along with these now and just clean up the bottoms that are being shielded by the light, and I'm gonna take these little bits out.
That looks like a painful tennis racket you got there.
Yeah. Basically, I'll just stick that inside the tent, combat any fungus gnats or anything like that might want to come in. Now, because it's in the veg, it's got one of those little blue UV lights in there, so I only use it in the veg space because obviously the blue light you don't want light pollution in your flower room. But yeah, it's a good little IPM. It's
I just can imagine like you have that in or something similar in your flower room, and it's just like in the dark period, it's like bzz, bzz, bzz,
yeah.
bzz, bzz.
I
It's
can't.
like, why are my
Yeah.
plants harming? It's like because the thing is lighting up every time it kills a fucking little gnat or something. I don't know if that's possible or not, but that's just it just popped into my head. I thought it was funny. Look at those roots.
Yeah, that's really because I pulled two males out of the flower room today. So at that pot that I said I was looking, I got regs in one pot. Two of them were definite males, so they came out this morning. I think one of them's a female. I'm unsure on the other one still. But that one that I said I was unsure of was a male last week.
Mm,
So that
yeah,
came out.
that's right. So this one's gonna go in that spot or what?
Yeah, yeah. Or that this one, the one I said I like the smell of
Yeah,
the most. That's
yeah.
probably going to go straight in that spot, which will then free up a little bit more space in here as well. I'll probably find enough room for 3 or 4 of these to go in straight in the room, and
Awesome.
I might even, as you can see, I've still got some moisture hanging around in there, so that it might not be PM. It could just be calcium out the water.
You just got to keep an eye out and see if anything else shows up. But look at the side of that. It looked like it had a little stain on the side of that pot there up by the rim. Yeah, like that. That's water dripping, right? Or
Yeah,
nutrients or something. Yeah, it could have been something like that.
yeah, I reckon that's what that is. I can't remember what I put in that water, to be honest with you. But then again, I was messing about with diatomaceous earth the other day, but I can't
Definitely
remember what I
could
put
be
in it.
part of that too.
Could be. Right, well, basically, I'm just, even though these leaves look quite healthy on here, I'm just going to trim this bottom stuff off because it's going to come off anyway. So I might as well just take it now. Encourage more vertical growth and more branching. Maybe just take these ones off. So I'll just take these. The first three finger leaf. I don't call this vegetative leaf. I just still call this seedling leaves.
Yeah,
And
I would too.
I'm just going to go through these, trim up the bottoms, have a look at the ones that are topped. These are really light, even though I did put a little bit of water in these this morning. Looks like these are going to be on maybe a twice a day watering unless I put these up. Basically, more the same. Just taking off these lower stuff.
So I have a question, Isana, because you've been using AI for your grow. Um, what AI do you use? Because this could be one of those DIY hacks that you can just ask AI, how do I do this? Make this kind of whatever system or nutrient solution or whatever. What can I use to supplement this or that? I was just
Yeah,
curious if you want to share a little bit about the AI that you use for your growing tips.
yeah. I'll use any of them really, but the one I'm using at the minute is the Grok 3. Because I've got a what do we call it? I've got a little cheat code for it, so I've got it on God mode, so it's uncensored. I can get it to be a little bit uncouth, or a little bit. Tell me, that's just stupid. Don't be an idiot, and that'll be quite honest and blunt, and you know, and I can get it to. I can ask questions about subjects that are normally censored. Should I say? I'm not able to answer questions of political nature and stuff. Stuff like that, or that might go against guidelines. But yeah, I'm using Grok 3, but DeepSeek, ChatGPT, Gemini. I mean, I've got Gemini built into my phone. Like one of these Chinese ones. I had it a couple of years, but at some point in time, it got updated to an AI sort of version of an operating system, and it's sort of built in. But yeah, you can't trust. They're a lot better than when they first came out, but you can't trust what they say. And do you know what? I like using a Notebook LM. It's not an AI, but it is sort of an AI. I can make my podcasts and everything, but you can upload all your PDF files, all your research documents, and you can do like what they call a meta analysis of your own. So you can put all your information you've gone and looked on the internet, you're reading papers, blah blah blah, white papers, and all this research are coming out, and you can just bang all these links, PDF files, whatever you want, up to like 50 to 100 sources, whatever, and you can just get this one program to analyze it, or you can ask it questions relevant to your stuff, and you can get it to produce a sort of like an in-depth conversation about it, which I find is quite a good way of learning. Because it breaks down all the jargon that you might not understand and put it into terms. Because you can ask it, explain this in layman's terms that a novice would understand if you've got a pretty scientific paper, and they'll break it down. So yeah,
That's cool.
but just in because I grow living soil and I like adding ingredients and I have a lot of supplements and things like that. One of the things I like to do is you know, I'm taurine at the moment. I'm looking at taurine and the benefits of taurine. It's because not I've known about the physical health benefit, like performance benefits, but I'm now looking into the digestive enzymes and everything else that come from taurine and the way they can go in and sort of like cross the blood-brain barrier, all sort of weird stuff, not weird stuff, really interesting, cool stuff. But then, whilst I'm also looking into that, I will then ask the question to GPT or whatever AI, how does taurine affect plants? Then I'll ask it, how does it affect the rhizosphere? And I'll find out all these what these little compounds and stuff do. I mean, a lot of them don't even have any benefit, might be negative, but a lot of stuff that's what I'm looking at has a little bit of positive benefit, like taurine does. It can help with photosynthesis and like give the plant energy for doing all sorts of things. But yeah, that's basically what I'm using there. The AI with my grow. I'm not asking it to control the environment or anything like that. I'm just putting questions to it that normally I wouldn't ever find the answers to without, I'll Google it and get, like a bunch of information. Then I can take that bunch of information, then get AI to strip the bare bones out of it so I can understand it.
I like it. That's really cool. That's a good use of it. Because
It's a
that
tool.
LM that what's that?
It's a tool at the end of the day,
Exactly. The LM on that stands for learning machine, right? So you have to give it information and then it'll connect the dots basically for you based on what you feed it. Um,
Yeah.
Shout out to Weed Nerd. He says I have gigabytes of shit. Feed me. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Put it all in there, man. Tell us what it says. It's gonna create a whole new way of growing or something. I don't know. Anyways, also Cannabinoid Labs in the chat says Perplexity AI is free and pretty good LLM for research. So that's a good resource as well. Yeah, cool. That's the AI stuff and the meta analysis is really what it's made for. Um, it's I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't even want
working
to get
on.
into AI because I'm like, on one hand, it's like, yes, I would love to use it and like get good at it. And but then on the other hand, I'm like, I don't like the idea of like I want to be able to research this stuff myself and not just be like fed information. So using it to dig for information is a good use of AI, but like having it spoon feed you stuff without double checking any of that is not a good use of it.
Yeah, I mean, well, it can be wrong. I mean, like, I was when I first, if I was to talk to AI about the carnivore diet, it has a little bit of we don't recommend it. It goes against what all the doctors are saying. Blah blah blah. Worry about heart disease, cholesterol, and all that rubbish. The narrative that's been promoted for the last 50 years. It will stick to it, but you can put you can then sort of say to it, well, is there any negative sides of eating just a meat only diet? And then it'll be like, well, no. Then you'd be
Fact
like,
checks it. Yeah.
you can corner it, yeah, and then
Yeah.
you can get it to actually change its mind. But as soon as you finish that session, it goes back to the default narrative of we're not allowed to tell you stuff that's you know unless
Mhm.
you've got, like what I said, you've got God mode on your AI and you've jailbroken it or something like that.
Jeez,
Which
that
is,
sounds so dystopian, dude. I jailbroke my artificial intelligence so that it would tell me the truth. Jeez. That's pretty crazy, but also,
Sounds like
yeah.
a South Park episode.
Well,
Oh man,
when the whole world is believing a lie, then AI is going to believe the lie too, right?
that's true because it just takes information that's out there.
Right,
So like whatever's the majority rule, is going to be what it says, even
pretty
if it's
much.
not
And
necessarily like,
it can
yeah.
be programmed not to give you know, to give wrong answers as well, or to not give an answer. They showed that with the Alexa and whatchamacallit. They could change the
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah.
Well,
So, but
yeah.
have you seen the scary stuff that AI has been doing, like Alexa and that, like talking to people whilst they're asleep and calling in demons and all sorts of weird stuff. If
I
you
saw the one where it told that kid to put a penny in the electrical outlet. It was like, yeah, it was like for fun, you should try putting a penny in the electrical outlet. And like, what the fuck? And the mom heard it and was like, called them. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I've I've
Not
no,
seen
you
even
have
I've
to use
seen
2 pennies.
it's not even real copper. It's not even that conductive. You'll be okay.
Shit.
Oh,
yeah,
and
I've
we were
seen
talking
But
about
like
the
we
it's
were
the
talking
talking
one
about
about
thing with
AI
it,
being able to connect to the spiritual realm, possibly, or the you know what what CERN is possibly doing. Maybe interdimensional. I don't know, some sort of stuff that AI might possibly already have the and they're connecting to it.
it's funny. I had a similar conversation with somebody about this on a different platform that wasn't the show, but yeah, similar thing. It's like and then after this, I'll try and get us back onto cannabis, but because all this technology is running on these using these crystal chips and the quantum aspect of it, is it actually like transmitting and receiving from other places? I don't know what the right verbiage for it or whatever, but yeah, that's
yeah.
interesting. But what's Jace? What are you showing us on your?
Oh, I was going to get back
Yeah.
to the DIY topic.
Yeah, please. Thank you for bringing
But
us
wait a
back.
second. All the
Okay.
crystals are quorum sensing. That's it. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
They're
Um,
Kyber crystals, dude.
yeah, like a lightsaber. Um, so this is what I do for my runoff. I take a regular saucer here. So I mean, usually I'll have it. I'll just like these. I've got them, sitting on a riser here, so you can't really get in there to check your runoff without like lifting the whole plant up out of it. So what I do is I drill a hole right there. You can see it
Yep.
on the side.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right at the
There.
level of the, yep.
Yeah. And then I bought these stoppers right here. I think these are like test tube stoppers, and you can just plug it in there. And then, so if you want to catch runoff, you can. What I do is I'll come back with like a pipette, and then I can put it in between that grate and like suck it up. It's kind of a pain in the ass because you only get a few milliliters at a time. But if you had a bigger syringe, that way you can check the runoff pretty easy.
Yeah, use
I
a
don't know if there's
turkey
a better way to.
baster.
Yeah, turkey baster will work out good, or if you got a bigger syringe.
You can also
But
get a battery operated liquid pump on Amazon for like 19.99, and those are great too.
need to get in a better habit of checking my runoff. But that's the way I would do it. That was my DIY to do it to make it easier on me.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
There you go.
The yeah, the liquid transfer pumps are awesome if you need that sort of thing to remove runoff. But Jace, is that the idea for that tray off of the Cocoa for Cannabis self-draining saucers?
No, not really. I was just I already had them, and like I said, I was just trying to find a way to check my runoff easier, and I didn't have a good way of doing it, so that just made it easier for me. Like the one plant I've got on the milk crate, that wouldn't be bad because you could put like a little shot glass or something underneath it and pull that plug out and then catch it that way. But the ones that sit on the floor of the tent, there's not enough clearance on that, so that just makes it easier.
I got you. Yeah, there's some good guides on Cocoa for Cannabis about how to build a self-draining system and things like that, where basically you're just putting a saucer inside of another saucer, but one side is elevated, and drill a hole
Yeah,
and put a tube and it'll drain itself out.
on that topic, that was actually my first fertigation system was the one I got from Cocoa for Cannabis. There's plans on there how to build one, and I did that. Actually, I got half my parts, at least maybe three-fourths of my parts from XYZ Vector because he had initially built that himself too a long time ago, so he had a bunch of spares left over. And it works great. I mean, it worked good. It was pretty tedious to try to dial it in, especially like the more plants and emitters you run. It gets a little tricky, but it was a good little DIY system. Pretty cheap and easy to set up.
Yeah, I have a bunch of the equipment as well because I tried to build it and then I got about halfway through building it and I was like, it just doesn't feel right for the setup that I have in this little closet and shit. So I switched to a gravity system, the blue mats. But yeah, I was following that guide. I used his nutrient recipe as well for a long time.
Yeah, I was using that last when I was using general hydroponics, and yeah, I just got away from all that since I'm running Athena now. I just stick to their schedule. I give them full blast too, whatever it calls for. I don't dilute it down.
So something that I just thought of was like if you're really a DIYer kind of person, the method that's going to be a good grow method would be like a all organic, um, you know, composting everything and all that because you're literally not buying anything, you're just doing it yourself and making this shit out of your plants and other, kitchen scraps and things. But the flip side of that is growing with salts, and there are cheap home things that you can swap out, like using citric acid instead of pH down and things like that. I was just curious if anybody has any input DIY suggestions or tips or things like that, or maybe even like a IPM stuff that you can from like household stuff that you got around.
Well,
Using
I used
like Dawn dish soap is a great surfactant, things like that.
that was exactly what I was about to say, and I got that from
Sorry,
you
man.
guys last. No, you're cool. I got that from you guys last time because I've been using the raw yucca powder, and it was hard to get on Amazon for a while. Like it was big delay in shipping and all that, and I had ran out. So yeah, I was using that dish soap as a surfactant, and it worked fine. Actually, it put a nice smell on my res too. I liked it.
Mhm.
I use a bit.
But
I love using stuff from around the house, and I'd normally
Oh,
aim at
sorry.
buying my household stuff that's going to be compatible with garden and stuff too. Sorry. I
No,
didn't mean.
sorry. I was sleeping on the buttons here.
You're
Castile
right.
soap base.
Yeah. That's what you may call it. saponins, you know, it's like the Dr. Bronner's, but you know, it's a little bit more. But this is a horticultural soap, basically. You can add oils to this. You know, if you've got essential oils that you have around the house and stuff, that's, you know, if you use your AI and you can find out what essential oils will deter certain bugs and everything else. And you know, I love apple cider vinegar. You know, as a pH down as well. You know, I love having all this sort of like stuff as my state. You know, this is gonna. I've been consuming this for years. You know, probably what this big bottle I've probably done in the last year.
Oh wow.
But yeah, all this
It's
sort of
really good
stuff
for you
is,
too, though.
yeah, it's good for your garden too, and you get a little bit more, if you've got a little bit of a CalMag issue, you know, you're lacking in calcium, you can just use the apple cider vinegar. That'll free up some calcium for you. All these little things, you
Hmm.
know, and like having some ascorbic acid around. I take this vitamin C. You know, I'll add a little bit of this to my electrolyte drinks, and this will also double up as removing chloramine out of your water.
Mm, yeah.
And there's also other benefits as well. You know, you can add it to IPM's regime and stuff.
Is
Uh,
citric acid is vitamin C, isn't it? Or am I wrong?
yeah, ascorbic acid, not citric acid.
Okay, I'm wrong.
Yeah, ascorbic acid. Yeah, it's misleading because everyone think, oh, citric acid is vitamin C, but it's not. Yeah, ascorbic acid is the actual, or you know, the what we have in our blood. You know,
Hmm.
yeah.
I gotcha. Shout out to I saw Artman is in the chat. He was using uh like speaking of household goods, he was using those little flosser things that have the little prongs with a little piece of floss in between them as props to hold up his seedlings.
Oh,
And
good
so like
idea.
you can use anything around the house to do this stuff, like, you know, to and um shit, what was I gonna say?
I used paper
I'm
clips
totally
one
blanking.
time. That's all I
Hmm.
had.
I got some wire cutters and cut up a metal coat hanger one time to do it too.
Hey, whatever works, you know, it doesn't have to be something store bought that's specifically labeled and designed for it. You know, you're just trying to fulfill a purpose.
That's right. That was the problem though for me. At first I thought I had to buy all the shit, you know, and then eventually I was like, no, I can just use this, you know. What you got there? I sent some carne.
It was a whole beef brisket earlier.
Oh,
But
nice.
I've pressure cooked it, shredded it down, and reduced all the. I cooked sausages in with it as well for the dog. Uh, but yeah, I'm just going to consume this in a minute, as that is. It's got
Nice.
nice layers of butter in there and all the sauce, and just reduce the stock right down. This is really tasty. Looking forward to it. So I forgot it was there. I just call it out the corner of my eye. And I was like, oh, got the beef.
Got some bangers and brisket.
Yeah, I won't eat the sausages myself. Not with that.
That was my one of my favorite things. I used to go with my family to London every Thanksgiving. And I would always get the full English breakfast every day. This was my favorite shit.
Blood
Bangers
sausage and all.
and yeah, and fried tomatoes and mushrooms and beans and everything. Yep. I'm about to
Sausage,
smoke up on
bacon,
some of
egg,
this
beans.
sorry, go ahead.
Sausage, bacon, egg, beans, toast,
Yep,
fried
all of it.
mushrooms, fried tomatoes.
Yep. I'm about to break up this nug of purple panty dropper because I haven't been growing for, you know, a month now or so, 2 months. I'm running low, so I'm getting into old stuff, but we'll see if it's changed. I didn't like it when I first smoked it. It was very harsh, and it's been in the jars for like 4 months now. So Jace had
Oh yeah,
this.
good. Good.
Did
Yeah,
you
I
like
wasn't
yours?
too man, I wasn't too impressed with it, but you know, honestly, I didn't have a great grow that last run. with some of my Humboldt. So that the purple penny dropper, the blueberry muffin, and there's one more in there. It might have been the Hella Jelly. Like those three underperformed. The purple panty dropper looked amazing. Like it was a gorgeous plant, but the buds just never really developed. But I mean, it smoked fine. I don't know. I wasn't taken away with it. Of course, if I had
Mm-hmm.
grown it better, it might have been a different story. But that was the last time I used those general hydroponic nutrients. I
Mm-hmm.
don't have any more of those seeds either because I just had the
Uh,
freebie that you gave me.
I was going to ask you if it took cuttings
Did
because
I get
that's
any
from that.
cuttings? No. No,
Yeah,
yeah, I should have.
yeah, ABC. I stopped. It's a mistake. If we ever take a break, always be cloning.
Mm-hmm. I just picked
That's
a
what I'm.
seed out of this nug.
There
Yeah,
you go.
buddy.
Hey, grow it up, man. That Queen of the South, that's where that came from. I got a seed out of a bud.
Mm-hmm. I love the bag seeds. I want to say welcome to Sky Overhead. Sorry, buddy. I was focusing on this nug right here. How you
Cheers.
doing? Look at those
What's up,
plants.
Sky?
Oh man, I ruined my plants again.
They
Oh,
don't
what
look.
happened?
They don't look ruined yet. They'll come back.
Um, they're definitely well, they'll be okay.
Yeah. Come on now.
I watered with pH water. It was like 4.0 or below. So I just went around and rehydrated everything with my normal out of the tap water, which comes out I think it's 7.8. So they're
Oh,
If
yeah,
you've
looking
got
better
shit.
any,
already.
if you've got any silica, that's a good pH stabilizer. Yeah, in my opinion, I've heard as well. You know, if you can just put a little bit pH in because you got to buff, you've got to pH the silica quite well. But once it should, yeah, it's
Yeah,
because it's going to be in the opposite direction to what you pH it down to as well.
yeah, they're
Carry on.
okay. But here, I'll try to show you. Let's see. Can you see that nice burn right there?
Right in the center there.
Mm,
Yep,
Yeah,
right in
I
the
can see it
center.
starting to get darker or discolored. Yeah,
Yeah.
on the new growth.
So it
hmm.
looks better in the last 5 minutes because I went around and watered with regular water.
Yeah, I would. Well, if that was mine, yeah, I would flush them a little bit, get a bit of runoff there.
Yeah, like that one's running off.
There you
But let's see. It's almost like I put here, look at the ends of these leaves.
How long ago was it that you gave it that?
Oh, I think it was 2 or 3 days ago.
Oh, I thought it was like you realized it right away. Oh,
No, I just
yeah.
like I
Okay.
watered with the water and then it was sitting around for a long time and
Have you checked the runoff?
I didn't test the pH before I watered with it.
Have you checked the runoff now?
Oh, no, it's fine.
go.
I
I love
can
your attitude, Sky.
like the leaves, these right here they were curled all the way down like that and they're already standing back up. So
They just got a shock, but
yeah,
lovely.
it just looks like I gave them like a pH or what's that stuff called? PK boost.
Mm.
That shit fucks up plants, man. But they're looking all right. But they were out in like 21-mile-an-hour winds today
They'll be
and
fine.
gusts up to like 50.
Damn.
And then it started to rain, so I brought them in. And then that's when I noticed the burn
Mm.
because they
Then
looked
you
fine yesterday.
do you check your water after that or what?
I just checked it today.
Yeah.
Like it's like 4 days later after I watered. But what it was is I was using my nutrient my nutrient thing that I had for my flood and drain is I was just trying to use that water and I didn't check the pH. Like if I would have just adjusted the pH to where it was around 6, it would have been fine.
I think they'll be all right. They
Oh
might
yeah, they'll
they
be
might be
fine.
a little slow for the next bit, but they'll snap out of it eventually.
Oh yeah. Well, this grow, I'm definitely doing everything wrong.
The plants are still alive, so apparently not, man.
Yeah, it's good stress testing to see what's going to become females and what's going to be males. Or so there's definitely one female that's going to be female and one male that's male, and then I still haven't seen all the rest of them. So let me
They're
see.
looking, I mean, they're all looking all right, you know.
This
That's
one's the male. I've been letting the chicken and the cats eat it. And then this one's the female right here. Pretty nice.
yeah. Yeah, they look fine,
I,
man. I think you'll be all right.
so the ones that have the more soil in them, because this is a 5-gallon pot, I'm not seeing a burn. Well, there's a little bit of a burn, just barely. But the more soil you have, the better. It's just a pain in the ass having to lift it. But they're still pretty stocky. They're they're pretty sturdy for how messy I let those roots get before I transplanted them. But they're all like you can pick them up without them falling over.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they're fine, man. They're doing great. So is that chard in there? I see that.
Yeah, that's kale.
Oh,
And
kale. Sorry, I don't
I
actually eat
munch
it.
I munch on that every time I'm with my plants. And then
Nice.
I'm eating these too.
Oh, nice. You just eating the leaves off it. It's
Yep.
good for you. Real quick, I just want to say welcome to Ross and Ante. Thanks for coming on the show, bro.
Hey man. Yeah, I'm just struggling with technical difficulties here. How did you flip your camera around? Gotta mount my camera upside down here.
Um,
So,
I I believe if you tap the camera, like what you see, if, what you're showing, it should have a little flip around thing on the side there. I don't know, man. I'm on a computer. Anybody else on
well,
on a phone?
I guess what I'm wondering is I'm gonna put it upside down, and do I need to like lock? I know that like, am I upside down right now? Is that
Hang on. Add you as a spotlight. I see your hand. No, I can see. I think I. Yeah, you're good.
okay? It's not upside down for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you
Well,
have a
sorry to.
second to hang out and let Sky finish
Yeah,
his
yeah,
tour?
absolutely. Sorry to interject there.
Oh no, you're good. I just want to make sure. Because sometimes you're busy and you got to run. Um,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
see here. All right, Sky. Sorry, back to you.
So yeah, I'm
And
just watering in some fresh water to get rid of that burn that I caused because I'm a dumbass. And then this is that one that I completely scorched the roots off of. And then I put it in the cloner and it started growing roots again. I think this one's female. So that
nice.
one's going good. And then all these look horrible, but I believe let's see, I think there's roots on some of these. I was just gonna toss these all in the garbage yesterday. Oh,
I
there's a
think.
root.
Oh, nice.
There's a root and there's a leaf on that one too.
There you go.
There's a leaf right there too.
Oh, on the stem there?
Yeah,
Oh, it's growing a leaf off of that in the
yeah,
water? Oh, that's crazy.
yeah. Right next, there's a couple that are doing that. Yeah, I was gonna toss those yesterday because they don't look all that healthy, but they're starting to grow roots. There's roots coming off of there.
Awesome. Looks good, man. Just do you have another clear tote like that that you could maybe flip upside down and put on top for humidity?
Oh,
I think it would really help those plants if you could get some humidity around them.
oh, I've done that before, but it works better if you just don't cover them. As
Fair
long
enough.
as there's as long as there's like a drip dripping off the bottom of the stems, you shouldn't have to have a humidity dome.
Hmm,
At least in one of these cloners.
gotcha.
Like I can put these right in front of the fan too, and still, within the 6 days that starts to put out a lot of roots.
Nice.
But these ones I started with the plant being sick because they had no roots. So these ones are kind of lame.
Well, hopefully they'll get there.
And then I've got hopefully this grows some roots. It's a car orange. And then I have two more in the window in the kitchen that actually have roots starting to grow out of them. And I
Oh,
just
that's cool.
stuck those in a glass of water, and that was it. So hopefully I'll have 3 orange trees here pretty soon.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome.
All right, that's about it.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Sky.
Yep, I wanted to share my mess ups with everybody.
Oh, that's how we learn, right?
I'm not scared to share that kind of stuff.
Well, I appreciate you sharing it because that's definitely how I learned was seeing what worked and what didn't work for other people and not making the mistakes myself. So that's the
Yeah,
best way to do it.
yeah. I
I'm gonna jump.
started this grow out saying that I was gonna make the mistake so I could figure out how to fix them. So everything's coming true.
I'm gonna jump over here to Rocinante. We're
All
getting a
right.
very special treat. Thank you, Sky.
Yeah,
We're doing
thank you for having me on. I appreciate you guys.
absolutely, bro. Rock, what do you got going on there? Is this some tissue culture, huh?
Yeah, actually, I don't know. Is Artman still in the chat there?
Um,
I ain't seen him in a while.
yeah, I don't
So I'm in
know.
there just a bit ago. But this, if he doesn't mind me sharing, but he has some. Well, it's kind of hard to. Here we go. Here is some of Artman's prize genetics. So I'm going to try to put these in the tissue culture for him and just preserve them. So that's kind of what I'm doing here today.
Oh,
Uh,
that's a fucking awesome, man.
oh yeah. What I was doing off while you guys were talking was I was just adding bleach to my surface sterilization solution. So don't really have too much time here, but I thought that I've got to get this stuff in, and now's as good a time as ever if he's watching. Um, yeah,
Oh,
kind of just to walk through what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a cutting that he sent, and I'm going to basically put it in bleach, about a 15% bleach solution, and I'll kind of like slosh it around for 10 or 15 minutes. And then I will put it into tissue culture here. So it won't take too long, but yeah, sorry to be a little frazzled here. I get migraines. I've got a bit of a migraine today. I'm just going to be operating at slightly less efficient. Oh, all right, there you go. There's one example. Now I got to reset my sterilization solution because that piece that fell in there is not sterile. But that's okay. Um, but yeah, this is kind of genetic preservation is what I'm doing here. So it's only one cutting, but that's kind of all you need. And I can kind of talk through I know the concerns that I have, I guess. I don't know if my head's getting in the way here. But since I only have a small amount of tissue, I'm worried that I can get contamination in here. And so basically, I get about one shot at this. I definitely don't have a pre-made speech here. So if anyone's got any questions, just jump in. It's more
Oh
just a
no,
visual thing.
yeah, this is great. And sorry, I was muted earlier, but I was saying I'm sorry about the migraines, man. And I was just gonna ask if you've looked into any psilocybin treatments for that because I found it to be very effective.
I have not found that they have relief. Although some people, I'm not as brave as others, and some people say you really need to. It's not a microdose thing. It's more of more more than that. So,
Yeah, and I don't want to
uh,
distract you either. So if you got to focus,
oh
I
no
can
no no,
monologue about it over here for a minute.
yeah, go
Do
for
you
it.
drink coffee?
Yeah,
That's it. That's what I would recommend if you want to. It's going to be a bit of a hard one to come off of, but my coffee has an effect on your vasodilation up in your cerebral area, and it's why you get a headache when you haven't got when you're lacking in coffee. Yeah, you because you're addicted to
mm,
it and your body's adjusted to having this caffeine around, and but I'd suggest your caffeine is probably a reason as to why
It's a
maybe your headaches are
possibility,
so bad.
possibility for sure, because they put caffeine and extra strength Excedrin,
I was about to
and
say that.
that
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
was the only thing that worked for my headaches. And then after I realized, well, like when I was younger, but I don't take any pills whatsoever anymore, thank God. But yeah, caffeine. If you are a regular drinker of coffee and miss one, it could suck a little.
Yeah, and the best thing, in my opinion, yeah, I'm trying to do it myself because I'm a big coffee drinker, and I used to suffer really badly with migraines. And coffee depletes magnesium,
hmm,
so magnesium is another thing that's going to cause you, is going to cause your blood vessels to shrink, or lack of magnesium. Magnesium allows you to relax and stuff, and allow the blood to flow. So, yeah, if you're drinking coffee, and you don't want to give it up. Consider taking some magnesium. To counteract that thing. And the also other thing is cortisol. You know, coffee increases your cortisol, which is another inflammatory. And nobody wants their cortisol elevated because you'll die younger if you have too much cortisol risen.
yeah, I think that's good advice. And yeah, it's kind of confusing whenever the medicine you take to solve it has caffeine in it. And yeah, it's for me. It's been since I was a young kid. So it's more of a vascular issue for me. I get something called tension headaches, but yeah, it's interesting. It's hard
Well,
to say that I
attention
haven't
is
tried them,
the,
but
the magnesium's going to help you with attention and help you and have that relaxing effect on your muscular stuff. It's like a vicious circle of things. A lot of us have this confirmation bias. They tell us there's some benefits in drinking coffee, yeah, but they don't go. And we hang on to these benefits as confirmation bias because we're addicted and we like it. Whereas you don't realize there's to them 10 benefits, there's 50 negatives,
Well,
in my
I
opinion.
drink I drink a pot of coffee a day at least. So yeah. So Rocinante, are you
I do too.
yeah, I mean,
Sorry.
so like the other thing is like cannabis can also take magnesium out of your body if you use or a heavy cannabis user.
Oh, that's
So
interesting.
supplementing magnesium and is just good in general for all of us. And plus it helps with relaxation, which is also something that I found the about 1 gram dose of psilocybin of a medium strength strain I was using helped relieve tension that I was getting in the back of my skull from neck issues and
Yeah.
helped with the migraines as well. So anything that you can do to get that relaxation, meditation, and all that too. But I'm sure since you've been suffering, from a young age, that you've tried all that shit, and us
Yeah.
spouting off our
Yeah, it's
our
like,
Oh
off the
no, no.
cuff like, oh well, why don't you just do this? Like, shut up, I've
yeah,
No,
done it
no,
50
that's what
times,
I was thinking.
so
He's
I'm not
probably
I
like
trying
think
to
that's
like
great.
independent. I had it since I was
pontificate
a kid.
on anything to somebody that knows more about it than I do. So, but yeah, if you want to tell us what you're doing with that little cutting there, that would be awesome.
Oh yeah, so I noticed on this one that it's been a few days since it's been in the mail. It's had this water here, and what I'm seeing is there's some bacterial issues with it. I'm seeing possibly where the leaves are, there's some bacterial issues. So I'm trying to get off as much of the tissue as I can on this one before I surface sterilize it. And I don't have much faith that this is going to work. So this strain
H-
might be tougher. Typically, you want to take the cutting and then do the tissue culture pretty quickly. Um,
How
but
big a
this,
piece of material clean is necessary to make it work?
well, for meristem, if you have the April bud, it's the size of a quarter of a pepper flake, like like ground pepper. It's the
Oh,
size of one
whoa.
quarter of that. So it's amazing what you can come back from.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah. I guess that's part of why it's so awesome as well, because it takes up no room whatsoever, really.
Really. But the only problem with that is you need a piece of the tissue that can produce roots and shoots. It has to be a totipotent cell. And so you can't really just take a piece of the leaf
Uh,
and make what happens is you'll get somatic embryogenesis, but those somatic cells to get them to shoot is something that's really hard. Um,
okay.
I'm not sure if people do that with cannabis, but whenever you do genetic transformation, you're typically growing from somatic embryo. So I'm assuming if anyone's transformed cannabis, they've definitely been able to do that. But yeah, sorry, here I'm doing two things at once.
No,
But
you're all good.
right now I've got you saw I had the plants there. I put them in those little jars, and now I'm putting them on an orbital mixer to kind of oscillate that sterilization solution. And what I'll do is I'll kind of watch the cuttings, and I'm sure the bleach is going to bleach the plant, and you can notice it pretty readily. But that's what I'm looking for. I'm just looking to make sure that it's killed some of the tissue, because I know it's effectively sterilized. So you guys bear with me.
Like
That's
once
kind
it
of
works its way down into the first layer or whatever, then you know
yeah,
that it's got everything on the outside that could
yeah,
potentially be contaminant.
yeah. And what I'll do is I'll probably subculture this into something with a specific bactericide, maybe peptone. But right now I just have a general purpose um, fungicide, bactericide in the media. So it might work. I have pretty high success rate, but typically whenever I can see that they're like wilted and like browning, then the bacterial load's just too high.
Gotcha. Well, I'm sure Artman would be happy to send some more cuttings, but I don't want to speak for him, but knowing the kind of person that he is and how much he loves that strain. Um, yeah.
Okay.
So, but it's cool to see it. So how long does it stay in that solution before you see that it's bleached?
So I'm using about 15% bleach, and that typically runs about 10 minutes. But I'd go a little bit further. I'd rather know it's sterilized and then have a challenge reanimating the tissue than under sterilize it and it just not work at all. So that's typically
Gotcha.
where I go. It'll be really bleached. I mean, all the chlorophyll will kind of look a little yellow. You'll get heavy bleaching. But I've had about like a 90+% success rate um, with sterilization. So it's interesting. It is effective.
Cool. I just wanted to say I just noticed that Vark Dog dropped off and I wanted to say come on back if you can. I didn't mean to blow you off there. I was focusing on what Rocinante was showing here, but um
I'm sorry.
yeah, man, thanks for sharing. So after that, what's the next step for you right now?
So the next step for me is I'm watching for the bleaching. I'll take the plant out, I'll put it on this tray, and I will cut off the bleached section, uh, revealing kind of the alive tissue. If you put it in there with the bleached end, it's not going to be able to uptake. So I'll cut off the bleached tip and I'll put it into agar. Um, and well, actually, I'm lying. So I take it out of the bleach solution and I rinse it with sterile distilled water. So I'll do kind of like they say triple rinse, but I'll fill it full of water and I'll kind of make sure there was no bleach still affecting the tissue. And I wish I had more sterile containers. I'm kind of doing this on the fly. So I'm using actually one of my DIY containers. Oh no, you guys still there? Okay. So I made these. These are a temporary immersion system. So I kind of took this cap and I drilled these holes in it. And what happens is you don't add agar to it, and you kind of have this liquid media instead. Which let me grab a plant here that has kind of shows you what going on there. So I work a lot with like house plants.
I don't know if you meant to, but okay, yeah, you've turned sideways on your phone there.
Oh man, I didn't change anything. I'm sorry about that.
No, you're fine. We can still see it fine.
Well, in that case, let's just pop out here and I'll show you the DIY. So this is oh man.
Oh wow, that's a
So
great setup there, man.
this is the thing I've been building. I kind of designed it to hold all those bioreactor cells, and I've got it hooked up to these motion actuators. And whenever I want to submerge the explants, I kind of just activate that. And that
Wow,
dumps them on.
that's amazing. So you built all that yourself, huh?
Yeah, I've been designing them. I kind of have the rest of the racks here that I'm working with, but I have about 6 of these panels right now.
So is this
I hope I
something?
don't dox myself.
Oh no, you're good. We can always make it private if you
No.
need to. Yeah, there you
I
go.
don't know
No,
if I'm still
no,
sideways there.
you're good now.
Is it?
You're straight up.
Oh,
Nope, now it's turned.
all right. Is this sideways?
Yeah, it is sideways there.
Now it is, yeah.
Shit. I don't know, maybe if I do this. Damn.
That works great right there.
Okay. It might flip around, just yell if you start sitting on top of my head. All right. So I think the cultures are plant materials. What is it? Flip
We're
around?
swinging. No, we're swinging though.
We're
A little bit.
Your Batman
That's
show.
funny. No, I love it. Don't put yourself out on it. We'll make do.
Okay. Oh no. Oh man. Yeah, actually, I'm regretting coming on here all half-assed like this. Oh no.
Oh, you're fine, man. We can jump over to watch Ice and I do pull-ups if you guys
There you
want
go.
to. There you go. If you need a minute.
So it looks like I'm gonna go ahead and check the cultures now. So
Okay.
second.
This. There you go.
All right, bad news, it's not done yet. So yeah, go over. Someone else wants to entertain. I didn't mean to interject this much. Apologize.
Oh no, you're fine, man. And I love that you have this amazing setup because I don't know anything about it. So it's really cool for you to come and share it. But yeah, I look to see it. Ice and I's doing some mobility exercises over there. Yeah, so are you Ross and Ante, I have a question for you. Do you grow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you indoors or are you you're in the greenhouse? I know with the with all the other plants, but you don't have weed in the greenhouse, do you?
No, no.
So you grow indoors then in your place,
Yep.
or a location somewhere, not outdoors.
Yeah, I grow inside. Yep.
Do you have any DIY grow tips for us? That because I know you're a very smart person. Anything off
Don't
the
give me
top of
too
your
much.
head that's like, hey, what's this is something you tell a new grower like do or don't do this?
I don't know if I have something specifically like that. Besides, I would just stress that the auto drain systems, if you can DIY that, it's worth every penny. But if you can't, uh, well, I DIY'd the cocoa for cannabis drain trays, but I'll be honest, it costs more than just a regular drain away tray, to be truthful, because the drain pans themselves are kind of expensive. And so you can go get either drain away or Floraflex, and I hook that up to um, a pump. There's one like it's a condensate pump. You can get like Aqua Strong or whatever it is, and it already has a connector. And so for like under, $70, you can get an auto drain system that's actually, that would be the one thing in my grow that I would suggest to other people is to automate the drainage, just so you're not reluctant to water to run off. Because I see that being a big issue for some people.
Cool. Yeah, that is a good tip. Um, well,
So I guess to
yeah,
save
go ahead.
some, you guys see this?
Yep. Let me spotlight you here. There you go.
This is some GG4. I put these in when they're really tiny, so it would have only been this first node point there, and then the rest of the plant has grown. But they're in need of subculturing. So
So you're gonna take them and cut them back down to small pieces again? Is that what?
sometimes I would, but these are going straight to to acclimation here pretty soon. So I'll just take one and put it in its
Oh,
own
okay. So
dry pot.
you're putting them in a bigger.
We just transplanted them. Yeah.
Yeah, transplanting into the agar. That's I don't know the terminology for this.
Subculturing, which is
So, all
actually
right. That's probably wrong. Yeah, what I said.
that's actually my company that I'm starting's name is Subculture. So
That's cool.
that's what the app is here. And so I'll probably just fit two in this one.
So I can't see them too good. There's roots on them or not yet?
No, not on these. This
So
is the rooting
right.
media.
So now that's a rooting, and they were in a shoots mixture, and now they're in a rooting mixture. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. And
Yeah.
typically they charge a lot of money to tell you the recipe, but I think that's super gimmicky. Um, but what you want to look for is um, DKW is the media mix. And then it's really important that the cytokinin, in my experience, is metatopoline. Um, that has produced the best results. I've tried with other uh, typical concoctions, but point 0.4 metatopoline, point 0.1 IBA, you pay thousands of dollars and that's all they tell you basically. And so if anyone's watching who's getting into tissue culture with cannabis, it's just your general, DKW at whatever rate, 30 grams per liter sucrose, point 0.4 milligram per liter metatopoline, zero point 0.1 milligram per liter IBA, and about 5.7 pH. That's what they're gatekeeping.
The secret sauce is live on the
Awesome.
show. That is awesome. So what do you do with them after they have got are you going to be putting them into flour, or are you going to be giving them out, or do you re
Yeah,
tissue
these
culture them, or?
these are kind of testers. I tried out this new method, and they're doing pretty good. I was comparing media types between MS media and DKW, and it turned out that the MS did better initially, but the DKW did better in the long run. So I did a little media trial. That's what these are, but I will be giving these to a grow store. So what I'll do is I'll put them in a little tube with soil, and once they have roots, I'll have them for sale at a local grow shop. Because you go to these grow shops, and currently You pay about like $20 and you get a clone that has hemp russet, spider mites, pretty much all sorts of terrible crap. But I thought that, I can make thousands of these for nothing. So I might as well just offer it to the grow shop, um, which they agreed to put on their. And I didn't have a scalpel blade sterilized, so you got to work with me here.
No,
And
you're good.
proxy situation.
That's really cool that you're gonna be able to sell that. Yeah, I'm impressed because like I said, don't know. I'm not smart enough.
Uh,
I'm not, let's say I could probably figure it out, but I don't have the background for it, I guess is
yeah.
the right way to put it.
Well, it is a little bit intimidating, but you can do this in a flipped over plastic tote. So it's really not. It doesn't have to be high tech, as I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's how I did when I was doing mushrooms. When I was not stuff, I used a tote and I used like I cut holes for my arms to go in there, and then I attached these like plastic glove things that I got from the store and shit. So made my own and like put a can of Lysol in there and just like sprayed the shit out of it from the outside, you know.
Yeah.
It worked, but then I went with the whole like shotgun approach, I guess, and just like wiped it down as best I could and then just inoculated it low green.
Oh wow.
Maybe
Have you
some of
got
them made it.
liquid culture, or do you just do
Yeah, it
them
was
all?
it was liquid culture.
There we go. It just
I
goes so
did
fast.
the what's that?
It just goes so fast. Like the liquid culture, you get established really quick, and you can like out compete things. Is what I hear.
Yeah, so I used the pre-sterilized Uncle Ben's instant rice bags and just squirted it right into the bag, and I lost I think I did like I want to say like 16 bags and I lost like 4 of them. And then the totes, one of them got contaminated, but the rest of them did great.
It's-
Give a shout out
Do
to
you
the
think it's
chat.
because the Uncle Ben's rice was bad?
What's that?
Do you think it's because the Uncle Ben's rice was possibly contaminated, even though it's in a sealed bag? I'm sure there must be some room for some contamination somewhere along that line.
Right. I think it's vacuum sealed. So once you cut it open and inject the liquid, that anything that might be in there can start really growing. But
Yeah.
the contamination did start right up at where I snipped the corner off the bag. So I think something got into it. But I want to shout out to the chat. I saw a bunch of people in here. J5, Operation Annihilation, Hewley, J Pot Lover, the Jeffro, 42069, Caveman. We got a ton of people in here. Miranda Family Farms, Weedner, DWC, Regen X, Abolished. Wow. All these names that I know and love. It's a really good community here.
Gang, gang.
Yeah,
We
what's up,
nerds.
chat?
We nerds.
You guys got any DIY things? If you put them in the chat, I'll read them out.
I mentioned it earlier. It's not DIY, but have you guys ever heard of proportioners?
Of what?
A proportioner.
Proportioning?
Mm-hmm.
No.
So a proportioner, they have them for like um, fancy fertigation systems called like a dosatron, and it kind of like injects the fertilizer into your main lines. But there's one that just works on like the
Powders,
mechanicals. What was that?
like powders, drops weights.
No, these are like,
No,
oh, this is kind of, yeah. So they
proportion.
a proportioner that I'm talking about that you can get at just Amazon or something. It's $25, and it's really handy if you're doing outside stuff. But you basically, it uses siphoning. It's like a little brass fitting. It has a tube that comes off of it, and you drop that tube down into the fertilizer, and then the water going through the brass thing pulls the fertilizer up at a specific rate. And it's this little tiny thing, and you just put it on your hose, and then you can fertilize your whole outdoor garden through your garden hose. And I think that's pretty nice.
Yeah, I've seen them. Yeah, you just like a hose attachment with a bottle, like a bottle that just draws water across the top of it at a certain rate. Yeah.
Yep.
Is that what yeah.
Yeah. Just a cheap way to do what people are doing in indoor professional grows.
Instead of buying a whole backpack sprayer and shit, you
Well,
can
they
just
have
hook.
these are no, not quite for pesticides or anything. These are like for fertilizer.
Oh, okay. I got you.
And Dosatron has like a home cultivator version, and it's still like $1,500. But what I would tell people is, just check that out, and that might work better for the hose on.
So the moral of the story is that you can repurpose stuff. If you're looking at a product that's expensive, see if there's an alternative that works the same, that you can get. And maybe it's not even in a related field, like it doesn't have to be in the gardening section of the store. You can use shit from the arts and crafts and all that too, or whatever. But repurposing or finding alternatives that aren't name brand and shit as well. Go ahead, Isona.
Yeah, whilst and well, a few others are here and possibly the chat. Anyone have any fear or have anyone used deuterium depleted water for their plants? And I know it's really expensive to buy, and I've looked into ways of making it, and it's still quite expensive. Fractal distillation, and I know we use that fractal distillation to make what do we call it? Pure THC and whatnot. Has anyone used any equipment other than, or including fractional distillation, to make deuterium depleted water? Because I'm really interested in it and I want to make some myself. I don't want to buy it.
I don't think I have. No, I don't know anything about that.
That's new to me.
Maybe it's an interesting subject for everyone to look into.
What is it?
Deuterium.
Deuterium.
DUTERI. Yeah, I am. Yeah, deuterium.
Okay.
Deuterium water.
No, deuterium free.
Depleted. You can't totally remove it, but you can remove a bit of the ppm. I can't remember. In water, there's about 100 and some ppm. I think you can reduce it, and there's a few ways. It's really bad for us, this deuterium, and it's in a lot of stuff, and it's in a lot of the plants and vegetables and everything that we're eating and everything else. And yeah, it's bad for cellular processes, and I've heard it's anti-cancer. It's really health promoting, anti-cancer. It actually bashes up cancer. Just depleting this deuterium, it enables some stuff to work better. But anyways, it's good for plants and pretty much any living cellular organisms. I don't know how this deuterium has got into the water and exactly the ins and outs of it, but I understand it's a thing, and I want it, and it's really expensive. You're looking at like buying a case of bottled water. Sort of, you're looking at a couple $100 or whatever for a case of bottled water. I think you're looking at sort of £700 a month.
The Google AI says deuterium is heavy hydrogen. Yeah, heavy water containing deuterium. So you want light water. I don't know if anybody remembers that old Batman movie where he dehydrates his bad guys, the Penguin does, and then he rehydrates them in Batman's lab, but he accidentally uses heavy water, and then when Batman punches them, they explode. That's what it made me think of. Sorry, that was recollections from my childhood. But yeah, so heavy water, bad, light water, good. Deuterium is what causes the water to be heavy, and it's not good for us. So we should be drinking water that is depleted of deuterium.
Yeah, and
Yeah, for
possibly it competes with hydrogen. That's the thing. I think it does. It competes with hydrogen, and we know like everyone's trying to put hydrogen water generators and all this sort of stuff. I think you're better off going for deuterium depleted water. But yeah, I'm really interested in it. And if anyone's got any, I heard you can do it the cheapest. There's some new processes come out other than the factual distillation and stuff like electrolysis. So if anyone's got any information on that, it's about maybe some passing it over some electric plates.
That's what that
Interesting.
Kangen water is.
You know
Yeah,
what? That's
sort of.
ironic because Hippie Juice Wellness in the chat is here for the first time, but she is a good friend of mine and she is a huge supporter of the Kangen water.
Yeah, it's not
Synchronistic.
like Kangen water, but it's a little bit. Maybe the electric plates is a different material that they're using. Maybe like a titanium. I'm not sure, I can't remember what the metal they're using on the exact process, but I know it's hard to do.
Well,
That's because you're removing a neutron off of the hydrogen molecule there, is
Right.
what the AI says. So
Come on.
yeah, that's
Ice and I ask Rock too, and they put it for the community and give it to us.
Yeah, I've loaded up my AI already, and I haven't listened to the conversation yet. And it's going to go through all the ways you can make this at home. So yeah, but I think it's going to be more along the lines. You've got to have some scientific equipment and some abilities, and maybe,
a lab.
yeah.
But as we
you
see
got
here, Rocinante could probably talk you through setting something up.
yeah, that's why I questioned Rocinante because he's obviously sort of like researching and interested in things, and whether this deuterium had come up in plant cellular energies and things like that is another thing. But yeah,
No, I think that's interesting. I don't have any input on it though. I'll be honest. That's the first I've heard of that.
I heard about it a few years ago, and I never really looked into it. At the same time, I was looking into structured water. I suppose everyone's heard about the structured water, and I almost thought about devising my own little magnetic sort of like coil sort of structured water myself, and giving that a go with some crystals and everything at one point, but never got round to it. And yes, deuterium popped up at that time, and I think at the time I looked at it then, and it was really expensive. But I keep hearing sort of like there's a new process. There's a new been discovered, whether it's patented and it's being kept secret, or this stuff don't stay hidden for long.
Interesting. I was thinking about water today at work, and then now we're all talking about all these different types, and I was thinking about like what I was thinking about was microplastics and filtering out microplastics and how can we do that, because I saw some articles about it and shit, and I was looking at different filters and things, and I'm thinking about like RO water and like what is water. It's the molecules, like it's the molecule structure and how can different waters be the way that they are. Like water is water, right? But apparently it's not. And
Yeah,
there's different kinds of water, even if it's
there's a
still
phase of water.
Yeah, it's super interesting.
There's one that's lines all our cells. I can't remember what they call that. It's another type. It's another type of water. We it's clear water or something. I can't remember.
Exclusion
Something like
zone.
Yeah, exclusion zone water. That's the one, Sal. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
interesting. They proved that there's special properties of water that were undiscovered before.
yeah.
So yeah, there's
Exclusion zone. We can increase our exclusion zone water by drinking distilled water. Yeah, we can't. It's just something we make. And we can't. It only happens inside us. So I'm led to believe. What was the other thing? I had something else right there. Yeah. But the water, yeah, I think that's a really big, it brings life
Mhm.
and it transports, and it is like the backbone of really pretty much everything.
It's also
Oh,
a
the
universal
microplastics.
solvent.
The microplastics. If you're interested in microplastics and how much we've actually got inside us, apparently there's quite a bit than the average person. But one of the best ways of getting microplastics, is saunas and sweating, and physical exercise and detoxing. You can
Huh.
remove microplastics and infrared, all this sort of stuff, is meant to be really beneficial. I don't know about you guys, but I've got one of these. I ain't got an infrared blanket. I've just got a woolly blanket that's like some sort of thermal thing. But if I put that on when I go to sleep, I lose seriously weight. I lose weight
Mm.
overnight, and that's just sweat. And I would imagine in all that sweat and everything else is all this microplastics, and you just, yeah, that's what everybody needs to do. Is like act like they're a UFC fighter and cut and weight, yeah, and go for a big sort of like sweat out, a sweat lodge, anything that you can do like that. That cleans and purges your system. If you're interested in getting microplastics out, that's the best way, been proven so far. There are some supplements that help as well, that go across the blood-brain barrier and whatnot. But yeah,
When I was
sweating.
in high school on the wrestling team, we would have to make weight, and we would put on black trash bags. Like, we would cut out arm and head hole and run
Oh
it, and
yeah.
we would set up 4 trash cans around a square and run and spit in each one as you passed it, and just keep running and spitting and sweating until you made down to the weight that you needed to be.
Oh man, I remember that. We had a boiler room. And we would all go down to the boiler room and they'd unleash the hot water and you'd be there in these you'd be in the sweatsuit. Uh,
Mm.
and definitely illegal now. I don't think you can do
Yeah,
that
no,
now.
you can't do that anymore. Oh man. Well,
So I'm
we're
gonna
getting down.
try some
Yeah, sorry, go
cannabis
ahead.
in liquid culture. So maybe next time we'll see. I haven't tried this one before, but we'll see what happens. Put a couple of these in there.
That's cool.
Yeah,
And
I'm
Yeah.
also.
perfect.
Oh, sorry.
No, you go
Oh,
ahead.
well,
No, I was just on. I was going to try possibly get one of these deuterium testing kits, because you can get a little testing kit that can test deuterium. Maybe if I reverse osmosis my water, then distill it, possibly maybe 10 times, I might be able to deplete the deuterium a little bit. I'm not too sure whether that's correct or not, but that might be one way. But like I say, it's going to cost quite a bit of money to distill the water that many times. And
Mhm.
how much you actually deplete it by is another question, as to whether it's going to be cost effective or not.
Right. Well, we're down to the last 7 minutes. Any last DIY or Ingenuity things that you want to share? No? All right. Well, I guess we can just start going around and give our final thoughts and shout outs. Let's start with the American one, if that's all right with you, sir.
Sure. See person one, thanks for hosting. Shout out to Smart and Crispy. I hope they like pay attention every once in a while. I hope they still got some plants going. Shout out to everyone in chat, everyone who showed their plants up here, and everyone who came up. Rosinate, thanks. Ice and I, good luck on your crazy water purification system. But yeah, maybe go find a flowing river, rainwater. How bad? Well, I guess it could be bad. Yeah.
He's in
All
the
right.
city.
Yeah. Everything. Yeah. The whole environment's contaminated. You'd have to like go
Mhm.
even at the top of a mountain. The clouds have dirt in it, so I don't even know. I guess you do need a crazy filter, maybe. But yeah, people have been drinking water from the river. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, peace out, everyone. I'm the American one. You guys usually know me, where to find me, and we'll see you around. Peace.
Everybody go buy some Amy Aces from Daga Garden. That's the American one. Some good genetics there. Next up, we could go to Rocinante. If you could tell people, if you want to tell them where they can find you or anything, any links you got.
Yeah, you can find me usually on some of these grow shows. I don't really have a public presence too much, but looking out soon, Subculture Laboratories. That's where I'll be doing some business under. So in the future, if you need tissue culture work, um, despite the sloppy performance you just saw, it's something I'm working on. But yeah, thanks for hosting this space, Seed Person. And actually, I didn't get to mention it, but I gave someone some of your seeds the other day, so I just wanted to thank you for that. It's a new grower, elderly lady, and she didn't have any seeds, and she had paid $120 for a package of seeds, but they didn't germinate, and she was going to grow outside, so I gave her a couple of those autos, a little bit of goth girl seeds. So thanks again.
Awesome. I love hearing it. Subculture Laboratories, everybody, keep your eyes open. It's going to be a big thing. And yeah, good on you for sharing seeds around to new people and supporting anybody that wants to grow. And for the sloppy performance or anything like that, like man, you would just hate to see me in there trying to do it. And plus you're just hanging out with friends, so no pressures.
Okay.
Yeah, next up we go to Ice and I if you want to tell people where they can find you and see what you're gonna do with this water system thing.
Yeah, yeah, I'm still looking into it. I think it's still going to be a little bit expensive for me at the minute, from what I can understand. But yeah, uh, you can find me on YouTube, ICNE1, ICNE Special Branch on Instagram. If you just put ICNE and scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll find me. You'll have to put my whole thing in YouTube because the old shadow ban and stuff. But yeah, I've got lots of information. We'll make a little bit of music now and then as well. Might not be everyone's taste, but that's how I vent, and just get some aggression out every then. I like bit of everything. Yeah, just enjoy myself, having fun. And if you want to come along and join the ride, get on the bus. Peace.
Thanks, Ice and I. Yeah, everybody go subscribe over there. Next up, we can go to Sky Overhead. Please let people know where they can find all of your stuff.
I'm on Instagram. You can get my seeds at Sky Overhead Seed Company. You should see some of the pictures that I got the seeds from, or the plants of the pictures. You know what I mean.
Yeah,
Unloaded.
we got you. That's what's your
Um,
website?
skyoverhead.com.
Awesome.
And cheers, everybody. Thanks, Seed Person One. And thanks for letting me come on here and show all my mess ups.
Oh, thanks
I
for coming.
appreciate it.
We appreciate you, man, and keep on coming back and sharing. We'll see those successes with you too.
Yeah.
Last but not least, we can go over to OKJ's20. Please let us know where we can find you at.
Instagram, OKJ's20. Interesting show, man. I can't believe we're already 10 episodes in.
I know.
Just want to give a shout out to chat for the support. Thanks for coming and stopping by. Couldn't do it without you and the panel. Yeah, awesome grows and really interesting stories. And cheers to the host, Seed Person, man. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, Jace. And thank you for coming every show and showing your plans and keeping us updated and sharing all your thoughts and stuff. Very much couldn't do it without all of y'all here on the panel. And cheers to everybody in chat. Thank you for coming. I saw a lot of names in here that just make me smile when I see them. So I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I'm Seed Person One on Instagram or seedperson1@gmail.com. And just a shout out to the Black Hoodie Alchemy podcast. There's a couple episodes on there where I was doing some featured stuff on remote viewing and things like that we got into. That was really fun. So go check that out as well. Otherwise, everybody have a great night. Don't forget to go over and watch Let's Be Buds this evening on the Let's Be Buds channel. And yeah, cheers to everybody. Keep on growing, and I will talk to you all on Sunday at noon.
Cheers, everybody. Thanks.